print has kept me with my doors open. People are attracted to what I'm doing because it's different than a lot of photographers in my area.
If you want to follow someone that crushes it on social media with high school seniors and printed product, our guest, Miame Jarrett, is here. How you doing? Welcome.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me today.
One part of your story that's amazing is that you jumped into photography by doing it right with printed product right from the start. So kind of tell us about your story and how you started photography and immediately included albums and wall art.
Yeah, so I started photography, I picked up a camera about 10 years ago. So I became a stay-at-home mom. I coached athletes or trained athletes, and my husband and I, we decided for me to stay home, stopped working. I realized being home was very tough and I needed something for me. So I was always into art and I used to draw a lot. So I picked up a camera and that became kind of like my art brush. So right from the beginning, I just dove right into learning how to shoot, and then put myself out there, reached out to local photographers, joined different organizations, and then right away went to, PPA, where they had all this product and, companies here, and they were like, yep, you have to do print. So right away it was, I'm just gonna start with the print, because everyone around me was just taking photos and here's a flash drive for the photos, and I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to stand out a little bit more. So it was right away where I just offered albums, wall art, prints, and now this continues to stay the same way, and I haven't looked back. And I try to encourage a lot of other photographers who are, getting into the game and, how are you doing this? And I'm like, well, you guys, print is everything.
You must feel very fortunate to have been steered the right direction right away.
It really is. I mean, a lot of it was just putting myself out there. This was 10 years ago. So I was the young one in the group when I was going to these, meetings, and you have seasoned photographers who have been doing it for 30 plus years. And so I'm picking their brains, what things have they done to, be successful. And I was just like a sponge, just soaking all that information up and then, utilize it for my business. And then, I love to, because I started 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, but just picked up a camera 10 years ago. But then once my kids got out of the house, as far as going to full-time school, that's when I opened my storefront, because it was like, mommy can open, spread her wings. And now I've been at my studio almost 3 years now, and it's been very successful. And, I hear a lot of people who have to close doors, of their locations and stuff, but print has kept me with my doors open. People are attracted to what I'm doing because it's different than a lot of photographers in my area.
And I think that's important. Can you talk a little bit about how print helps with marketing and then also helps with, obviously, the revenue side of things?
So the marketing piece is, I really try to educate my clients on why you want it. And when people see stuff, they feel stuff, they touch it, it gives them the sense of, wow, I really want this. Of course we get excited about the social media piece, where we want to just post it online. It's hyped for 2 days and then it's forgotten about. But being able to explain to clients and the importance of why you want this is your history we're creating of your senior, because this is it. It's the parents get that emotional state of like, wow, I can't believe it. Like, there were 2 yesterday, now all of a sudden they're 18 and what just happened, but how can I help you capture that moment and then also view it every single day in your home, So it's, you walk down the hallway, there's your child at 18 years old. And so just kind of letting parents know, like, you want these things, because once they become fully adult on their own, they're going to be doing their own thing. Now, what do you have to kind of remember them at when they were still your baby,
I remember when I was shooting seniors, an older photographer that was very good with product, his phrase was, if they're crying, they're buying.
Oh, I just had one mom, literally bawling her, and I loved it, because I love those moments, because I can understand the feeling, but I can't even imagine, when my kids get that age, of that feeling of, wow, you're about to go. Like, you're leaving, you're an adult. We went through like whatever challenges or adversity we had in high school, or the positive things. Like, this is like kind of like their moment to celebrate like their child. And I mean, sometimes I get emotional with them.
So let's dive into one of your clients. You can kind of tell her story. We have your album project open here, and you can just kind of tell us her story. So tell us about this young woman.
So the one thing interesting about, what I really loved about her, was her parents didn't speak not 1 inch of like English, maybe a little bit. So they had to translate through their daughter, which I was cool because my language is photography and photos. So throughout our whole, because we'll always host a consultation meeting in studio where I meet the parents, the singer comes in, we talk about the ideas and like different looks she wants to do. And then mom, I mean, of course, she's talking with her daughter and then have to translate to me. But I could tell mom, she was into photos, like photography and like artwork and portraits and stuff. Like just her body language or her responses to things was like, okay, mom, I see you. And then when we came to our viewing appointment to, order their products, mom's reactions was, oh, and I was like, mom, you like that one, don't you? And, so it's just like mom and I spoke just through photos, even though we had that language barrier, but seeing her daughter in this way, capturing her in her element with her sports, as well as just how beautiful she is, that, which I appreciate so much about this, because we didn't have to speak. It just, the images did it all. That's
awesome. And so what did she end up ordering?
So I have collections. So it's like a 3-step collection. So had an album, a wall art, and then gift prints. And then this one came with a few digital files as well. And actually one of her wall art I loved so much, I actually printed it in the studio and it's in my window.
What album is included in your packages?
So the album that's included in my packages, I kind of have it to where I gear people towards my middle collection because this is my top seller. So it's a choose your size. So for class of 2025, I had 10x10s, 8x8s, and a 6x6. And most clients choose a 10x10. And then also it has where you choose your portrait size, so your wall canvas. And then it also has, you choose your gift print collection. So it's basically between 10 and 5 prints that you can kind of choose. So I give parents full control over, which one they want, because they get excited, like, oh, I get to choose? Like, yeah, you could choose what you want. And then also it has like the digital files of like 15 digital files you can get in that collection as well. But it's my top seller. People mostly do it. I gear people towards that one because it has a little bit of everything, which people want, is the album, wall art, gift prints, and digitals.
So 10x10 is the most popular album probably then?
I just started offering 12x12s for the class of 2026, so we'll see how that goes. But I have it front and centered, and I have it right here.
Next question, favorite album cover?
So my favorite album cover is honestly the photo cover. I tell parents it's a portrait displayed right there, right in the front. And when you see it, I always love that it's a conversation started when people come over. So you got family, grandma, come over to the house, friends, they see this portrait of you, the stand, sofa table, and all of a sudden they're like, wow, their attention gets drawn to it. Then you pick it up, then they realize like, wow, what is this? So definitely the photo cover.
Awesome. Okay, and how about favorite size for wall art?
My favorite size for wall art is 20x30s. I like to show people the different sizes because most clients say, I want the big one, and it's an 8x10. And I'm like, okay, well, here's an 8x10. And then I show them a 20x30, and they're like, wow, I really like that. Also, there's a 16x24, which is another kind of favorite for people who have, smaller homes, but 20x30 has always been my favorite size. I have a ton of them at my house too, so.
Single wall art pieces, or are you also selling collections?
2025, I was doing single art pieces. Class of 2026, I'm going to be trying the collection piece where I have a 4-image portrait that's either canvas or switching to metal to see how it kind of goes, see how parents, the only problem I might run into is parents who have a lot of kids. Like, I need a lot of wall space. So I've kind of been trying to see if I could, let's start with how many kids you have. Let's build that wall starting with your first child, and then we can kind of add to the wall. But that's going to be my next thing for this new class.
Perfect. Okay, and then when you do a slideshow for the client, are you doing a slideshow of only the images or images plus the design?
Good question. I love that. So with the slideshow, I'm typically just showing the images from our session, which is, I think it could be 100 images that I'm showing. And then after their session, we go through their images. And there's actually been a few times where I've just pre-designed an album just to showcase parents what an album looks like. And then the moment they see it, they're like, yep, I want it.
Do you like to proof in person or online?
So I like to proof online just because it gives parents a little bit of time to kind of look through things and make sure that everything is perfect. Because I want to make sure when I order it that it's exactly how they like it, it's designed correctly. They can leave their comments as needed, which is very helpful, which I love that portion because I tell them pull it up on a large TV screen or a computer so you can flip through the pages, you see the exact layout of the book, and then I make sure I proof it, I send them another revision, and then once it's good, I order.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you so much.
I'm Miame Jarrett, and that's my story.